All right. Good evening, everyone. I am D. Leonard Hughes. You're listening to the D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Show. I am the president and CEO, D. Leonard Hughes. I'm a Christian psychologist and a certified personal uh, development coach. So glad to be on all the platforms. We're on 5 platforms and we're on. Once again, this is not hey, Danita, this is not a religious or church platform. It's a Christ personal development platform. Danita, always remember, you don't have to apologize. You don't have to get any feel of what other people feel about anything sis that you do. Whether it's lottery, that's your business. So I want you to walk in freedom. Hey, yes, walk in freedom. And that's the greatest thing, freedom from all of that. Just you want to play the lottery, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? I did a little bit, but just didn't win. So I realized it wasn't probably wasn't my area. Um, but it's a matter of being free. Religion will stalemate you. You're afraid to do this. You're afraid to be progressive. It's a religion puts a fear in you of doing, being, and having. Some folks say, "Well, if I get too much, I may lose God." You can't lose God. You're one with Him. You're one with Him. I want to start getting into my teaching on tonight. I spent most of the week in Connecticut. Really, really enjoyed it at the church every day. New, not a new chapter, but a new book in my life. Uh, they're in Norwalk, Connecticut. All right. I want to talk about, you're welcome. You're welcome, little sis. You're welcome. I want to talk about your inner being, what your inner being is really doing and direct. I want to open up and unpack your attention to your inner being. Religious circles, Sister Grace, have talked about the inner being, the inner man. but never really got into it for people to understand. There's my mother, Lois McRae. People coming on. So, first scripture, talking about the inner man. You got to realize there's another source of energy, a source of flow. We're all a part of source, which God is the source, and we're all a part of it. And the God, the source that created worlds are in you. There's no different power or different creation thing. No, the same creation back there. It dwells in you. Let me tell you something. This is how you know that you're stuck mentally, you're stuck emotionally, when you don't want to change what you've been doing, how you've been doing, what you've been saying, how you've been saying it for years. There cannot be growth unless there's change. Thankfully, my Aunt Betty's on too. There cannot be growth until there's change. And let me say this, and people so quickly, and I'm not going to really psychologically say what it is, but people so quickly get on the defense of knowing something, and we don't know anything. Socrates said, one thing I know is that I know nothing. And that's how wisdom keeps coming, is you keep a mindset that I know nothing, and the wisdom comes, and it keeps coming, and you change your mindset and change. I don't care what you said 20 years ago. I don't care what grandmama said. It doesn't make me no difference. Doesn't mean it was right. They were just as off because they were taught off. They meant well, but the teaching back then was a limited belief and disempowering. So why hold on to that? If anybody wanted you to, if the universe wanted you to stay back there in 1960, you've still been back there, but it doesn't. It progresses. It keeps going. It keeps moving. But you're not progressing. You're babysitting your old ways. You're babysitting your old ways of thinking, and you're babysitting, and people get defensive when you try to cause them to do better. Why get the use of everybody, old or young, rich or poor? You should want to be corrected because you want to be in alignment with the universe and the spirit. This is why I don't deal with a lot of people. I was telling somebody I don't deal with a lot of people because I'm on a vortex. I'm on an alignment. I'm on a rim that I must stay. And negativity brings you out of that. So why come out of negativity just to pacify your old man? Because it was a comfort zone back then. You were told that, they told me that, and they were wrong. They meant well, but 98% of them, I don't care who it was. That doesn't mean you hold on to it. A lot of things I heard in the community and in church, but man, when I found out better, I abandoned that stuff. You got to be willing to abandon thought processes and thought patterns in conversations. Don't get upset when people correct you. Wisdom. The Bible says a wise man loves instructions. I love instruction. I was Monday when I was at the church and the head deacon was sharing some things. Man, I was wide open. Even though I'd heard it before several times, but hearing it from him gave me a better perspective. I didn't cut him off. Oh, I know that already. Because you don't know. What you knew 30, 40 years ago, that's gone. You got, when you begin to develop yourself, this is how you hear clearly. People are like, well, I want to hear the voice of God. You ain't going to hear the voice of God until you develop you. And once you develop the inner man and that communion with you and the inner man. Notice I said communion with you and the inner man. When last time you took yourself, when last time you spoke to yourself? You get up this morning, you speak to yourself? You worry about everybody else didn't speak. This one didn't speak to me. Did you speak to yourself? If you spoke to yourself, it shouldn't matter who speak or who wave. Wave at yourself, speak to yourself, and go out and take on the day. And stop all of this penny on a petty stuff. Stop that. Oh, me. It's me. You're not no victim. I did it on a morning wake up. You're not no victim, and nobody's gonna feel for you as a victim when you waller in something. Sometimes people waller in something, and they want to find somebody to waller in it with them, depression or some type of negative emotion, and they want somebody to waller in with you. And if you don't waller in, they get upset with you. Well, get upset with me. I'm not gonna waller in that. My faith is on a certain realm. I'm in alignment, and I fight to stay in that realm. Because that's the realm that causes manifestation, the frequency. Proverbs 20:27 in the Christian Bible, it says, the spirit of a man is the lamp of the Lord, searching all the innermost parts of his being. We're moving on. Galatians 3:10, and have put on the new self who is being renewed to a true knowledge according to the image of the one who created him. How do you develop more of the Christ awareness? Is through knowledge. You can't get no more of God than what you already had. Excuse me, that religious stuff that people tell me, oh, I just want more God. Please stop that. All right, my Jamaican family is on. Pastor Karen, they're on. Glad to see you. Yeah, please say that. Don't do that. How do you get more of God? So he's measuring out himself? You don't find that nobody. He didn't even measure our faith. He said, I give every man the measure of faith. So he didn't measure, you get this faith, you got this amount of faith. You can't get no more of him than you have. He's in you. We're one with him. 2 Corinthians 3:16 says, do you not know that Jesus Christ is in you? And you got to, this is where I stay all day. And I don't let religious people, negative talk, negative energy interfere with where I am. You have to individually take a stand in life, a stand in faith, a stand in the God that's within you. And at the end of the day, you should say, I believe God. Matter of fact, somebody typed that up there for me. And you say it, just don't type it, but say it, I believe God. Whatever you're facing, I believe God. Whatever you're up against, you say, I believe God. Because you worry, thank you. People putting it, hey, Tanisha, I believe God. Certain situation that we're dealing with. My mind went all over the place. All over the place. It's going to turn out like this. This is going to happen. And y'all listen to me. Not even close. It turned out in a positive way. Stop going down the rabbit hole in your mind and in your emotions. That's why emotionally and mentally you can't get healed, because you keep going down this rabbit hole that your emotions are popping up and your feelings are popping up and you're being mistreated and there's somebody else worse off than you. You may have a little ache and pain, there's somebody else worse off than you. You got to remember, brush yourself off and go on and live life. Romans 8:7, the mind governed by the flesh is hostile to God. The carnal mind. I'm giving a little bit more scriptures than I usually do, because this is not a religious platform, but it's a Christ personal development awareness platform. So I'm very careful I don't get too much into religion, because people are tired of it. They want results. And this show, if you listen to me, this show, I will give you tools every week to get results. Don't you want results? What they've been telling you and all of that you've seen, you're not going to get no results with that. You're not going to get no results with that. All the negative talk, begging, Lord, please. People have not been taught. You don't have to beg God for anything. I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. That inner man, how do you connect with him? Through meditation. Through meditation. You got to quiet the mind. That's it. It's already yours. You get to steal. How many times a day did you steal your mind? If you didn't, you're a runaway. Your mind is a runaway train. You have to get control of it. When you feel that tension coming in, everything is coming at you. You know, what I do is put on some nice classical music, close my eyes, go within. Because when a negative thought comes, first of all, you're not your thoughts. So you distance yourself from the negative thoughts and you think about something else. If doubt comes, you think about faith. Fear comes, you think about courage and put yourself in a courage situation. And you keep doing that and keep doing that, because the more that you think on stuff and hold on to it, the bigger it gets. And when it gets big in your mind, it starts ruminating. And before you know it, you're on a mental loop. Okay? Your inner being is a non-physical part of you. We're nothing but non-physical energy. With non-physical energy. So your inner man or your inner being knows the whole blueprint for your life. I want you to listen to this so you can understand what you're all about. When source energy, we're all a part of source energy, God. There's many names of God, many names that people can relate to. Then you go to India, they've got 2,000 or something, over 2,000 gods. So when you say God, they don't know who you're talking about. His name is I am. That's why you have to be careful how you use I am. Your inner being. God gave us our inner being. It knows your DNA is there. It knows the eternity is in there. It knows the plan for your life. And everything that you need is in the inner being. So as you tap into that and become communion with you, most folks, how can you love God and you don't even love you? You can't even love your neighbor. The scripture says, love thy neighbors as thyself. You don't love you. So how you tell me I want to find somebody I just can love. I want to be loved. That's because you're not loving yourself. You're looking. No one person can give you everything in life that you need. Everything that you need is in you. Nobody can make you happy. They can add to your happiness, but you got to be happy yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You start meditating. That word, and for those that's in the religious part, that word, if I meditate day and night, this is how these folks in the Christian Bible, this is how they were able to manifest the things they wanted to manifest, because they knew about meditation. Jesus, he practiced meditation. Those 17 years that was missing, he learned all that, and he came back with so much power and took 12 and turned the world upside down. All you need is to commune with you. All you need is to become one with you. All you need is to stop being like somebody else. Stop trying to be like Jesus and be you. I say it all the time. He didn't come for us to be like him. If somebody told you just be like him, well, tell me, how was he? We developed a Christ mind, but you don't find nowhere what he told the disciples. Hey, Pastor Christopher, you don't find nowhere that he told the disciples to be like him. And this is the greatest deception the church made, and people never developed themselves because they said, just be like Jesus. Well, how was he? What did he like to eat? What did he like to do? Come on. That wasn't his purpose for him to come. He didn't tell the disciples, be like me. He said, the works that I do shall you do, but you're going to do greater. You be you. In your inner being, there's a DNA that nobody else has. Nobody. Past, present, future. So there's a you in you that must be developed. And I tell people all the time, get the religion. You can't listen to me. Get the religious stuff out of your mind. Get it out of your mind. And develop you and the Christ mind. As long as you stay there, you're not going to get anywhere. As long as you stay in that religious vein, and I was telling some pastors when I was in Michigan, and this is what I'm working on at our church in where I am now in Connecticut, St. James Missionary Baptist Church in Norwalk. Love them, wonderful people. They thought enough of me to elect me as their leader, and I love them so much. But I'm teaching them how to develop themselves. I told the pastors in Michigan the other week, I said, the problem you leaders are struggling with, you're trying to implement vision with people that don't understand vision. They're not even developed. They don't understand personal development. They don't understand vision. They don't understand teamwork. They don't understand those things. And you're trying to get people to do something that don't have any business sense or organizational skills to work with the plan that you have. You can't, and people get them and make them religious. And then all of a sudden they hearing from God. But we don't do that. At St. James, we don't do that. I stay away from all of that. I'm training their mind. You can't do anything if you're not developed. I'm manifesting things in my life. As I often say, I didn't know I was a writer. I didn't know I was a blogger. I started with 10. I think Pastor Christopher was one of the 10 I was sending out. Now it's almost 900. I didn't do it yesterday, and I want to apologize because I was having some phone complication. Let me say something when I talk about manifesting. There's times you got to speak up, and there's times you got to chill. So I was having hey, Audrey, I haven't seen you in a while. Bless you. I want to show you something. That there's a vein that you quietly walk into and you listen. Now, if you got all that religious stuff, you're not going to hear clearly because you got so much other stuff going. So when it started Wednesday, because I was at the church in Connecticut, and I couldn't get my morning wake-ups to go through. And of course, I got up, got a little disturbed and this and that. But I should have known when to stop because I had proved my point. I'm just saying how in dealing with people. And the guy saying, sir, I'm going to look out for you, but you won't listen to me. He said, I'm going to get you another phone, sir. I've been trying to tell you that for 10 minutes. And he was, but I was just going on, this with the phone. He said, I already got you set up for a new phone. Just go to the Apple store. I manifested that because I wanted a new phone, just hadn't taken our time to go get it. And I don't get into every new iPhone come out there, upload and I can dial and do what I need to do. But in manifesting, you have to stay calm and you've got to have a peace in the inner man, a peace in the inner being. The inner being. See, we're not humans we're humans being. You're constantly being. You're constantly receiving and transmitting 24/7, mentally, emotionally. You're sending out, you're receiving. You're sending out. Even subconsciously, you're sending out and you're receiving. So you have to be careful of, don't let things, I said something at church Sunday. I said, life is not complicated. You have developed complications in your life. And people say, oh, life is so complicated. No, you have created complicated things and complicated people in your life. So you have labeled that as life is complicated. You can have one bad thing, not bad, or one thing negative happen throughout the day, and you just label that your whole day is messed up. And it's not true. You can't control. You got to learn. I talked about this last week. Only person you can control is you. your reactions, and your response. And when you learn, and when we learn to stop trying to control the things that you can't control, and most of us are control freaks. We want to control everything. And there are stuff that pops up throughout the day that you can't control. And there's people that do crazy things that you cannot control. If somebody pulled in front of you at the rate, you can't control that, but should that destroy your whole day? That's what people do. Of course, we're going to get a little, initially it's going to be a something, but then you just got to, and I know it's hard, but me it's hard. You see what my hand's still up, because I be want to, Pastor Chris, but you learn to work with what you can control. The inner being is a wonderful experience. You got to learn to play with your imagination, have fun, fantasize throughout the day. See yourself being, doing, and having. I want to take this personal development company all over the world. There's 190 major countries, and I don't know how many continents. I know Africa's a continent, but I want to take it all around. So what I do is I see myself there, not going, but I am there. I want to go talk. No, I'm sorry. Australia, I'm there. You see what I said? I want to. No, you don't have to say you want to. Pray believing you have received. Africa, I am there. Get maps. Don't see yourself going one day, but see yourself there right now. This is a part of manifesting. You don't hope one day, but one day I'm gonna get some money. No. You have money now. You are money. Well, where is it, Dr. Hughes? You are money. It's in your vibration. Doesn't come overnight. I'm not fit to say it's no get rich, Kmart blue light special. I'm not saying that. But you stay on the grind, man. You stay with it. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. He's having problems with Meta, but he's not stopping. Let it go. When you got a dream, hear me. I got some more time. When you got a dream, I am currency. Thank you, Pastor Christopher. That's what she pastors in Louisiana, New Orleans. I am currency. Because money is an energy. Currency is an energy. It's energy. So that's what we are. When you when you're putting out money vibration by the affirmation, about feeling, and by saying, I am currency, I am money, you say it and you put yourself in there and you stay there. You stay there. Here it is. Catch this tonight. If you get this, you would say, D.L. Hughes, I'm seeing manifestations. There's something we call the law of assumption. Assume you already have it. Assume you're the person you want to be. Not I'm going to be one day. Start acting like the person you want to be. I don't worry about people. Why you acting like you all that? You acting like you rich. I am. Ain't nobody in our family. No, I am. You stand on that. You stand on that. You stand on. Get here it is. Here it is. The feeling you would get when it actually manifests, that's the feeling you get on your way as it manifests, and you stay there. And from that vibration, see, when Job had a hedge around him, that was a force field of energy. There wasn't no hedges in the backyard, the hedges in the front yard, because we're nothing but energy, source energy. And anyways, I want to get to it, but there's a hedge because of his mindset. Because of what he said and the way he saw himself, it gave off so much energy that the enemy couldn't even get to him without permission. You can tell his mindset because his conversation. Abraham had 3 streams of income. Hit cattle, hit gold, hit silver. That's what made him wealthy. How you going to be wealthy just sitting home? Man, I don't have a job. You better get a computer, get a laptop, find one of these companies. There's no excuse. Let me say it again. All the prophecies and all that stuff, I don't knock that. But you got to get up and do something, baby. You got to stop looking for another prophet. That was not the purpose of the prophetic, for people to be led. And I said something last week, and I was guilty too. Is it really that we were, and this is not a religious platform, I don't even use the title anymore, but were we seers of prophets? We were seers. Not really prophets. They just prophesy in a house, a car. It's just a seer. Real prophet can go that on that level. Go to the White House. Go to Biden. Go down there to Mar-a-Lago. Go down there if that's what you're that much of a prophet. No, you're a seer. Those prophets in the Bible went to kings. You don't find these guys running around here talking about I'm prophet this, I'm prophet that. They're just running from church to church. And prophecy without principle is pathetic. Prophecy without principle. I told those pastors, Pastor Christopher, I told those pastors in Michigan, the only way you can get your ministry where you want it, you got to develop your people outside of religion. Develop them about themselves. Most folks don't even understand life. That's why the scripture said he's given us everything that pertains to life and godliness. He wants you to understand life first. Most folks don't understand life. The life they understand is the life that religion have portrayed to them, and that's a life of struggling. That's a life of begging. That's a life of chasing after God. You know, and I used to sing that song, chasing after you. What are you chasing him for? He's not running around chasing after you. If you chasing somebody, that means they're running around. You don't have to chase him. He's in you. He's in you. You chase a dog because he don't want to come in. You chase a child because they don't want to do something. You don't chase after God. All of this and I'm just trying to introduce y'all to truth. And when it makes sense, stick with it. You don't have to chase after him. You have him on the inside. You have him on the inside. And I understand what's going on. And I tell people, get the teaching. Get the principle. That's why you don't see me doing that. I outgrew all of that. When I go out as a seer and as a spirit lead me, I express in those areas. But that's not the base of where I am. The base of where I am is personal development. It's personal development. If you develop you, don't try to be somebody in church, somebody you knew in church, brother so-and-so. Don't you do that. You don't know what type of mindset they had. You just saw them religiously, and you don't want to be like them religiously. You want to be like you. You want to be like nobody but you. And develop the Christ mind. We have the mind of Christ. Everything is a mindset, y'all. God don't have to defend himself. He's already given us what it takes. People say, why all the evil? God is not, listen, he's God of principle. Is this what man's doing? These are the consequences. Is this what the church is doing? This is the consequences. And all of that is played out now. All of the big conferences with the same speaker. I'm going to say it tonight. All the big names, people running behind that, and most of them didn't have a lick of anointing, just a whole bunch of cliches. I'm going to say it because you're smarter than that. You're wiser than that. Learn about life and the God within you for yourself. As soon as you hear a revival, you run it. Is it prophet? Come on. Come on, is it really? You're still there? After all these years? You're still, but I don't look for prophecy because I'm working principles. I have no taste for that. I mean, if it happens, but I don't look for it because what I'm doing, hey, Kendra, what I'm doing is the principles, mental principles, kingdom principles, laws of the universe. We live two lives. We live life in our thoughts, and we live life in our experiences. Two lives. Hear what I said? Let me tell you something. Many of you are precious, you're sweet. But religion, the religious church, not God's church, nothing wrong with God's church. God's church is a kingdom church of people that's learning and winning and seeing results, accomplishing things, starting businesses, starting corporations. Where you are, if they're not teaching you about business and starting corporations and being better and a better version of yourself, yes, that's what I said. You're supposed to be you, no, but nobody else. You're supposed to be like Michael Sinclair. You're supposed to be like you, because there's nobody else on this earth. And thank you, Pastor Brandon. There's no one else on this. And can I tell you something? Let me say something. Over 6 million people died of COVID. And guess what? You're still here. So that means you're supposed to be on planet Earth. There's nothing can stop you. If anything could stop you, it would have stopped you during COVID time. But it didn't stop you. Only person that's stopping you is you. There's nobody can stop you. There's no devil nowhere can stop you. You're the only one. Your own thoughts, mental blocks, limited thinking. You're the only one that's stopping you. Why? Because I was stopping me. I was hindering me. The religious stuff, it messed me up. I didn't know whether I was going or coming. And most of the stuff, it didn't make sense that I was still preaching and teaching. It didn't make sense. Opening prayer. Come on by here, Lord. Stop by. He's already here. You don't have to pray those kind of prayers. Lord, come on by just a little. If he ain't here, I ain't going to be here. He's with you. Come on. We got to come up. We got to come up. This is why churches are dying, because people did not see results, and preachers was just preaching to impress other preachers. Even at conventions, they weren't preaching to the people. They was preaching to the other ministers to get a door or get this and get that. And all that is, I told one of my spiritual daughters, she said, well, I just want to travel. I said, let me tell you something. You get a business. Get a business, do ministry like that. Because it's not like it used to be. Those folks are gone. Are halfway gone. They're really dedicated people that were dedicated to their religion or whatever it may be. Because I got people from all walks of life on here, so I'm very careful what I say. Are you listening? Because it's not a church platform. Are you listening to me? You want more. 5 years from now, is this how you want your life to be? No. Only one person can change it. That's you. You change it. You go on a journey for change, and don't try to change nobody, your kids, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your husband. Just change you. When you change you, the stuff that irritated you, you get past that. Oh, that ain't nothing now. But it used to bother you, but now it doesn't bother you. You want to tap into the inner man. The inner being knows you. The inner being knows everything you need to know. The whole plan is in your inner being. So if you don't go within, you would go without. Religion has focused on outward stuff. That's why I don't get into theology and theologians, because most of them have no revelation. They put God way out there somewhere, and people just confused. They're confused. You got to tap into you. Love you. Let's say again, you can't love God if you don't love you. It starts with self-love. You can't love your neighbor. Love thy neighbor as. So you don't even love you. Why you don't love you? Look at me. Don't you swipe. Dr. Sutton, glad to have you, man. And others on other platforms. If I don't say anything, please, because I can't see all of the platforms. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. I'm glad y'all stayed there. I hit something. Okay, I hit something that threw everything off. Okay, um, I'm glad you stayed. I'm just. Let me tell you something. Don't go nowhere. Let me tell you something. When you get you together, it'll make a world of a difference. When you start loving you, you start just enjoying you. You see what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second, y'all. I got something else going on here. Let me get the right camera. It's the wrong camera. Okay. All right, there we are. Okay. Now, I want to do this. I only do it so often. I don't do it all the time. I think I do it like twice a month. If this teachings really helping you, um, even the morning wake up is helping you. I want to take out time tonight because I only do this twice a month, unless I feel, some other time. But I basically do it twice a month. I want some of you to donate to a company or those who understand seating. Donate in the seating, a seat of $58. One of my mentors, Brother Mike Murdoch, that's something that he made popular, the $58. Okay, I want to talk a little bit more, but the information, if you feel led to do more, you do that. All of this information comes through reading, researching, reading. This is what I do throughout the day. The morning mental wake up, I do that every day. I mean, there's a lot of research, but I love it. When I couldn't do it yesterday because of the phone. And hey, Victor, hey. See, if you come on and I don't say anything, it's because I cannot see everybody that's on. So those that want to sow that $58, you can do that. I'm going to keep talking. We're talking about the enemy. Carolyn Lee. All right. We're talking about the enemy. It's not as hard as religion have made it. They've worked you up. Yeah, been a while, Brother Victor. They've worked you up. You feel like you got to work God up. Don't do that. Just receive. It's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. If a child asks a father for bread, he's not going to give him a stone. God, hey, Brother Michael, glad to have you too, Brother Michael Christopher. Glad to have you, man. God is not mad at you. Religion gave that view of God. He's got a hammer, and we tell people, just come on. When you come on and get saved, everything gonna be all right. That ain't true. I don't know why people tell folks that. Then they come on and they give their life, they're awakened to the Christ within, and then a whole bunch of stuff goes on. They try to figure out. I thought it happened. I know a young lady, they told her, just come on, get, do this, do that, and your life gonna change and everything gonna be all right. And after that, she went through a whole lot. I had to go back and help her understand that wasn't true. You will always have challenges. Life is full of uncertainties, and you never can get to a place that you're fully comfortable because there's always going to be something happen again out of your control, out of your control. And I said again, stop trying to control everything and everybody, family members and kids. You cannot do it. The strength you need is in your inner man. Ephesians 3:16, I think, talks about that. You don't have to say, oh, Lord, give me strength. Pray that I have strength. Where do you get that from? Christ is the wisdom and the power of God. So if he's in you, see, religion has caused you to separate yourself from God. He's one place, we somewhere, we praying here, he waits somewhere, and then he's playing game, and then we're chasing after. You don't have to chase God. They need to take that song and bury it somewhere because it gave the wrong concept You don't have to chase God. He's in you. You're chasing him for. Wait, I mean, where's he running from? Where's he running to? Thank God those that are sowing the information is down there, that $58 seed. If Dealing and Hughes Personal Development Company is if it helps you, or the morning mental wake up helps you, amen, give a donation, $58. Okay, I got a few more minutes. Let's do this. I got a lot of people on different platforms. Anybody want to comment or something I said that you need a better understanding? This is the kind of community that I'm trying to build, that we just intermingle. And as a coach, as a psychologist, I can come on and I can share. And don't be afraid or shy to just ask. Anything I said, you want a better understanding, put it in the comment section. Now, if you're on a different platform, I only can see Darrell L. Hughes profile. I cannot see other ones. I can't see YouTube. So if you'd like to make a comment, you can do that, and I will answer you to help you understand how to manifest. Now, I'm giving you an opportunity. I have clients that pay hourly. They pay hourly for help. So, and let me say this: precious young man, but need a lot of help. This is why I'm dealing with personal development and mental health. Kenya, what's it? Kenya West, Yeezy, young man need a lot of help mentally. See, you have to keep growing. If not mentally, you'll get off on something that your ego. See, if you don't get the right knowledge and apply the right knowledge, your ego starts talking. And your ego makes you think you're the only one on planet Earth, or the whole world got to dance around you. And this is what Kanye West, Yeezy, is dealing with. The young man is dealing. It's first of all, somebody should have told him, you don't go against the Jews. First of all, the Jews are precious people, God's people. We're God's people too, but they were, natural. We were grafted in. You can't knock them. Why would you even do that? All lives matter, whether it's white lives, black matter, and then the negative thing he said about George Floyd, insensitive. Could have been his son or somebody. How would you feel if somebody said something? The young man got a lot of issues. He needs help. I told somebody I wish I could get him in a 6 or 8 week therapy session. I can help him because I see where he is if allowed to get help, because everything around him is falling apart. Adia's $1.5 million contract, that's gone. He's worth $400 million, but that's no money when you have high expenses and payroll and there's nothing coming in. So my view as a coach, as a psychologist, he needs to go and get treatment. And don't be ashamed. I mean, never be ashamed to get it. When you find yourself in a mental health stuck, or you can't get out of it, get help. Doesn't mean you're crazy. See, we coming up, we thought, thank you for those that are sowing and donating. Information is at the bottom, that $58 seed. We understand what we're doing, how we're doing it, and that you got it. Let me tell you something, get a grip. One of the things I did in my morning mental wake up, I think this morning I talked about staying in your own lane, minding your own business. Don't let people, I'm just sharing. Don't let people define who you are, where you're supposed to be. Don't let people define you. What kind of car you're supposed to get, where you're supposed to live, what kind of business to get, how you dress. Don't let nobody define you. That's not their job. You define you. That's why I was saying to Danita earlier today, whatever you want to do, you do it. You don't have to come on and worry about religious folks or justify. Don't do that. I'm talking to all you. You just live your life. If people like it, they like it. If they hate Sheila, if people like it, they like it. If they don't, you don't. Live your life. Some of you have never lived for you. You've never lived for you. You live for everybody else. You're living for your kids. That's not helping them. Let me say this. Thank you for those that are sowing that $58 seed. The information is at the bottom. I need about 10 more people. Some are doing it. I need about 10 more people that will stand with me. I only do this twice a month with the $58. I'm not going to do no prophecy. I'm not going to give no word. I'm giving you principle. And your responding or your giving should be based on your receiving information. Let me say this. Living for your kids, that doesn't help them. That doesn't help them. Because you're all in the way. What do you mean, Dr. Hughes? You're all in the way. They got every person's life through your inner being have a plan. He said, I know the plans I have towards you to prosper you. Those plans are in your inner being. You got to let your kids live. You think you're helping them. You're not. You're enabling them. And they'll never be able. If something happened to you, what would they do? This is the question that you have to ask. If something happened to your kids, what would you do? And how many people would jump in line to take them if they're under a certain age? These are the things you think about. You haven't even, how can you don't love you. You can't love God. You don't love you. Man, you got to have conversations with yourself. And you start rolling with this inner being and developing it and giving it wisdom. It begins to, and I have fun with my inner being. It's a fun time. Because he said, now, Darryl, you shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did that. You got to believe God. And I go along with it. It's a wonderful, I'm just trying to show y'all, it's a wonderful experience. How do you tap into the inner man or your inner being? Through meditation. Quiet this. You can't hear nothing when this is going. And this here is like an airport. You can quiet your mind. But you got to train yourself. You train yourself. David said, be still, my soul, and know that I am God. You train your mind not to worry. I know that's a hard one. Train your mind not to worry. What are you worrying about? When you worry, that's saying, I don't trust God. You can't get it done. I don't believe you. You can't handle my situations. So I'm worried. That's what it's saying. Let it go. You can't control that situation. You're going to stay stuck. Or let me say this before I go. Is it really a situation? Is it really a problem? Or it's something you've developed in your head and you're entertaining it about somebody, about how somebody feel about you. You can be in the mall and your mind will tell you they don't like you. Look what she's thinking. That woman ain't thinking about you. She's trying to figure out the same thing. What somebody think about her or them. Just walking, don't worry about it. Shyness means you're fearful of what somebody else thinks. Get delivered from that. Get delivered from that. Thank you. Those of you that are sowing, I appreciate you, are donating to our company. I appreciate it so much. That $58. You can't do the 58. I'm asking you today to do something. Show your appreciation for this show. We got a lot of things coming, a lot of products, a lot of services, a lot of wonderful interviews that's going to surprise you. You're going to try to figure out how I was able to schedule certain ones, national people, because I visualize it and I begin to talk to them way before I meet them. Somebody missed that. You got to enjoy your life. Go within. Okay? We got a few more minutes. People are sowing. You can do the Cash App or you can do the Zelle. But I need 6 of you, 6 more that would do the $58 donation or the $58 seed. I only do this twice a month. Beginning of the month and usually in the middle of the month, or if I feel to do it later on, but I try not to do that because I like to keep my word. Okay. So I talked about tonight. I talked about the inner being, and let me say this: the inner man or the inner being will give you impulses and direction to let you know that you're moving in the right direction. The more you meditate and focus on your inner being, the more sensitive you'll be about life. And don't try to hear religiously so you can prophesy to somebody. They can tell you how great you are. No, you want to hear and tune in, tapped in, turned on about your life and the plan and the purpose that God has, because his plans is to prosper you. Jeremiah 29:11. That's his plan. His plan is not, you cannot fail because you plan to. But when it comes to the future, you see yourself doing, being, and having in the future. But how, what, when, where, that's not your business. Okay? All right. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Those that are sewing, you can sew, or if you like to, you can use I'll put this up for a second. Somebody, okay, I just did it. Somebody asked about the QR code. You can put your phone to there and you can do that. Okay. I'll leave that up for a second, even when I'm going off. Just put your phone there. Thank you for those that are sewing, donating, depends on where you are or where, religion you are. So I appreciate it. We had a wonderful time, wonderful audience. I always have something, a good lecture for you. And when I'm off, go back on, take notes, apply this stuff. You see what I'm saying? Because one thing I can tell you, one thing I must tell you is that it works. It works if you work it. You have to work it. Work the principles. Be what you want to be. Do what you want to do. Have what you want to have. Just enjoy your life and meditate and live on the inner man. All right. Thank you. I'm the president and CEO of Dillon and Hughes Personal Development Institute and Coaching Show. Until next time, thank you for listening.